My God, Anthony, it's been a week since we've done live shows. I'm missing you, dude.
I miss you too, I think.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
you're watching the #1 show in hospitality. Hey, everybody, welcome to No Vacancy Live. Thank you so much for making us the #1 podcast in hospitality, according to the International Institute of Hospitality. International Hospitality Institute. Sorry about that. That's Anthony Melchiori. I'm Glenn Hausman. So happy to have everyone aboard today. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. You are where I was a couple of days ago.
You
were in Resort World.
I wish I was there right now, or any of the fine resorts on the Las Vegas Strip for that matter. But I'm here in Smithtown at the Hausman Resort Pool Club, Smokehouse, and soon to be brewery. So that's exciting.
So tell people that are listening where your green screen is.
All right, so my green screen is of Resorts World, but I got the Sphere behind me that they have over there. No, not the MSG Sphere, coming to Venetian Palazzo in November of this year.
That thing is unbelievable.
Yeah, but kind of like, it's funny because that sphere, that giant sphere, is going to do the same thing this smaller one does, which is pretty immense in itself, and have that giant LED screen that wraps around the entire thing. That's really, really high quality. It's amazing.
You know, when I was there just a couple of days ago, I was looking at it. Think about it. It's 115 degrees on some days. Woof. The sun is beating the crap out of those structures. Yeah. And somehow all of these LEDs that are, out in the sun and curved and fitted perfectly have to hold up to the weather conditions. And I just don't know how that works.
Yeah.
That's why it's costing billions and billions of dollars, and it's delayed a little bit. So.
Yes, and to be fair, the Sphere is going up in price not because of engineering situations or construction situations, because the price of goods and stuff is going up tremendously. So I wanted to just make that clear to them.
And as they say in my country, it's friggin' hard to do.
Yeah. Well, I hear they're planning another one of those giant spheres, possibly for London, which will be.
Well, I think they got to get this one. I think once they get this one perfect, I don't think
they'll be putting these around the world, is my guess.
Yeah, and I think it's. Listen, one of the things I love about Circa, the hotel in downtown Vegas, is they have this incredible sports book and this pool club that no one else has. The Sphere will be that no one else has. So it's, when you're in Vegas, you got to go bigger and better and create something that people haven't seen before.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Anthony, it's all about bigger and better and doing things the right way. And we could talk about how Vegas is doing that, but you were there last week for Forbes' celebration of all of its 5-star award winners. Talk about doing things the right way. This group of women and men have hit it out of the park.
Well, a couple things. One, Neil Patrick Harris showed his ass because he was the MC. And I don't know why he did that, but apparently everybody in the audience needed to see Neil Patrick Harris's ass. But he did a great job. He was very funny. He did a very good job.
His ass or the rest of it?
The rest of it, because it's so funny. Even as an A-lister, he's begging people in the audience for discounts. He goes, "Listen, I like these 5-star hotels. Can I get a discount?" But anyway, it was fun. But I got it. I'll be remiss if I don't talk about this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to load something up on LinkedIn this week about it. But I mentor a kid named JC out of here, where I live, and I've known him. He went to high school with my daughter, and then I known him because he was a Muay Thai prodigy in the gym, and just a great kid. And I got him involved in the hotel business out where I live, and then got him. I didn't get him, but I told him go get a job in New York. He got a job at the Hard Rock Hotel,
right?
And he's a great kid. So I said, you pay the plane ticket, and I'll get you the ticket for Forbes event. And thank you, Amanda and Forbes, for giving us that complimentary. And Shannon McCollum, of course, the rock star
who runs operation at Resorts World.
At Resorts World, was kind enough to dedicate a room to him. Wow. And I got to tell you something. He got his tuxedo. He got business cards, and he wasn't happy with his first set, so he got a second set. And the first person he gives his business card to is Sheila Johnson, the owner and billionaire in charge of Salamander. And she didn't know who this kid was. I think she barely remembered me. But she
Right.
got up and she talked to him like he was her grandson and
Wow.
said, listen, I'm going to be watching you. You have to work hard. And like she literally popped up out of nowhere and she said, who are you? What are you doing? What do you want to do? You got to work hard. Blah, blah, blah. And what the best part about that was he had no idea who she was. So I was like, his mind's going to be blown. And I said, did you ever give your card to a billionaire before? And he goes, that's the first time I ever handed my card out.
Yeah.
Then we had breakfast with Brian, the CEO of Win, and he was so kind. Like I didn't even exist. He was just talking to JC and this gentleman, Mark, that I also mentor. And then Shannon, and then Amanda from Forbes sat with us and spoke to him. And the hospitality industry, the people at the top are so humble.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's almost like, are you really that important? Because they don't act important. And for these people to give this kind of time, and I'll give you an example. Amanda Fraser, she's running the event. She's so busy. She literally went out of her way to sit with us at the after event and spend 45 minutes giving
45 minutes?
45 minutes giving these kids just popping gems off to him.
My God.
And like everywhere we went, people didn't care that I existed. They all were just giving him advice. And it was really, honestly, I mean, I've been to Vegas more times than most, not as many as you, but it was one of my favorite trips because I was able, the team and what we do for a living, we're able to provide him with something that took me 40 years to know these people. And then he was able to see it, was amazing. And then I gave him a little bit of a tour, and then Mark, who's his friend that works out there as well, brought him to one of the nightclubs. So they hung out in the DJ booth.
Oh, sweet.
So listen, he got the best tour in 4 days than anyone's ever been, and he was mentored by the best of the best of the best.
Wow, that is amazing. I'll tell you, Anthony, I'm so happy I found the hospitality industry for just that reason. As you know, before this business, when I first got out of college, I was doing music and entertainment writing, and I got to interview celebrities and all that kind of stuff. And I also worked for a music video editorial company and got to meet a lot of folks in that capacity. And 99% of those people I did not like, but it's literally the flip side in the hospitality business where I love 99% of the people for just what you're saying. You know
what he said? He says, like, it's a high school reunion. Cause I know a lot of people know me, and everybody's like talking. He's like it's a high school reunion. Mm-hmm. And then like, he's never really experienced kind of like the Hotel Impossible guy.
Right.
So, you see what happens. So I'm walking down the hallway and this lady pops off. Oh my God, whatever. And so he got to see that too. He got to see if you work hard and you really focus that, things happen. And I never talk about it. He's never seen it because he lives where I live and nobody gives a shit. So, but for him to see not only the hospitality part of it, but also the celebrity part, it's like, listen, whatever you want to do in life, if you work hard enough, stuff can happen. And, I'm just more than the broken down guy you see at the gym.
Yeah.
but it's all hard work. And then every single person said, it's like, if you work hard, but not one person said anything other than work hard, you'll do well. Outwork everyone, you'll do well. Outwork everyone. That's all. Every single person. That's all they said.
Right, you're absolutely right. And the thing is, the problem that the younger generations have that we might not have had, and I think a lot of this has to do with technology and how life keeps picking up fast pace, is that sense and need for instant gratification. I had trouble like saying, okay, it's not about today, it's about the long play, 5 years, 10 years from now. That's got to be much harder for younger people today to visualize and bring to life when we're used to getting everything from Amazon overnight and food delivered to your house.
Yeah. And it's, listen, he works hard. He's a good kid. He was so conscientious.
Yeah.
Went to the tailor, made sure his suit looked good. He was exactly what you would hope somebody would do when you give him an opportunity. But then when we get home on the red eye, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
He goes, I have a 3 o'clock shift.
What?
I'm going to call. Wait. I have a 3 o'clock shift in the afternoon. I think I'm going to call, I'm going to call out because I'm tired. I go, no, you're not. You're not calling out.
Yeah.
And he, you know what? He goes, well, I'm tired. He goes, I'll see. And he texted me. He goes, I didn't call out.
Good.
And I said, when was the last time I called out in 35 years in the hotel business?
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Yeah.
35 years. Never. You're not calling out because you took a red eye.
That's interesting.
No,
I'm saying it's interesting that he said that after every single person was basically sending the message that the opposite is what you need
because he was really tired, and it's understandable.
Yeah.
And he has sick days and PTO time, so he thought it was okay to do it. And it is okay to do it. It's 100% okay to do it,
Mhm.
but don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it until you need to do it. If you really need to, because you're not feeling well and you're really that jet lagged and you're not going to be able to bring it and you're going to get sick, of course, call out. But if you're doing it just because you want to rest more, don't. Because listen, one of the things that I think everybody's trying to teach them, and what I try to teach people, what you try to teach people, is people want people that are dependable. And calling in sick once or late or whatever is not gonna kill your career.
Right.
But the person that never does it or almost never does it is dependable. And
Right.
so, but he did everything right. I was so proud of him. And then like last night, he showed me all the follow-up, all the emails he's doing, all the letters he's doing. He's thinking about maybe moving out there and like what places he can live in and who he needs to talk to. And literally between, I know everybody that runs every hotel, a lot thanks to you and a lot thanks to the show and a lot thanks to my career. But so he can really talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And, but did he took it serious? Because you know me, I'm not as nice as you are. I'm not as nice as you are. I'm not.
You are correct.
And I am not going to tolerate foolishness. If you're not going to follow up and you're not going to be serious about it, then you're probably never going to get another chance to do something like this. Whereas you'll probably give people a break. I won't give people a break like that.
And I think you nailed our respective personalities 100%. One thing I would say
that I'm not nice. No,
that I'm a little too forgiving and stuff like that in particular. But don't take advantage of me, as you all know that out there. I would like to send a message to the younger people that are paying attention, listening, and watching right now. Anthony, what he is saying is so essential to the future of your careers. And Anthony, this has happened to you. This has happened to me. We go to these events. We meet some of these amazing young folks. We give them our cards. We tell them we're here to be a resource for you. And then 99 times out of 100, never hear from those individuals again. I do hear from some people who have got it. I got a LinkedIn message out of the blue from Gabby, for example, a young woman that we both know, just the other day checking in.
Gabby, remind me.
We met her in Vegas and stuff like that. I don't necessarily want to give her last name on the show without her permission, but I'll put it in the show notes. You'll remember her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And listen, it happens all the time, and a lot of people don't, but some people do. Oh yeah, okay.
Yep.
Of course. Hi, Gabby. And but it's one of the things. When we were up and coming and we were trying to get access, and we're still always trying to get access. We're always trying to meet people and help them and they help us. And it's just the way it works. And I always say money and power is great, but not so much power, but money is great. Access is better.
Yep.
And when you get the access, you realize, and this is an old adage and it's overused, but they put pants on just like you and I.
Right.
And they've worked hard just like you and I. You look at, you look at Amanda, who's the vice president of ratings at Forbes.
Right.
She's been grinding for 15 years at Forbes through the ups and downs, through the pandemic, through change of leadership, always with a smile, always on point. And she doesn't miss a mark. She doesn't miss a mark. Matter of fact, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I was there and I didn't know what seat I was supposed to sit at. So the young lady with the notes was looking. And she goes, 14. So she brings them 14. They go, no, you don't sit here. I was embarrassed. So I left. And I didn't know what to do. And then eventually they said, no, you're a 14. So I sat at 14. Somebody else was sitting in my seat. So anyway, this morning, me and emails. If you text me, you get an immediate response. Emails takes a week. Yeah. So I'm looking for my emails this morning. And they had texted me, Amanda and her team had texted me my seat number, my seat day before the event. I never saw it. So I was walking around like an idiot.
Yeah.
And if I would have had that confirmation, the person sitting in my seat would have seen it. But they're always on point. And people at that level don't get there by mistake. Again, you have Brian, who's the CEO of Win, who just got promoted, who runs North America for them.
Yep.
He's a little busy.
Yeah. And check out our podcast with Brian Goldbrandt of Win Las Vegas when he was president, when we did it last November.
He gave them an hour, at least an hour. And I broke it up because I said, you probably have a 9 o'clock, so let's just go. But he gave it to us on short notice. He goes, meet me 8 o'clock at the restaurant, blah, blah, blah. Done. Guess what time we were there? Because guess what? I told them wear a suit and
Well,
tie.
I know the answer to that. Yeah.
It was 8 o'clock appointment. What time we were there? What time
You were
we
there,
were
I think
there?
it's 7:15, something like that. 7:30?
7:20.
7:20.
7:20. And then the young lady said, "Would you like to sit at the table?" I said, "No, that's his table. It doesn't belong to us. We're going to stand." She goes, "Would you like to sit in the lounge?" I said, "No, we're going to stand." She goes, "You want to stand right here?" So we're going to stand right here. For 40 minutes, we stood right at the front, waiting for him.
Yep. And I guarantee, Anthony, the entire time you know, when you were planning to get there early, you were thinking about how when we had dinner with him, he was there before.
It was 15 minutes early.
And
yes,
that would rankle me too.
Yeah, I was like, that ain't happening again. That ain't happening again.
And we were early. We were like 5 minutes early, but he was already there. And that's like makes you feel late.
Right. So I was like, okay, he's going to be there maybe 20 minutes early. So I'm going to be there 40 minutes early.
Yep.
And the kids were there. They were in their suit. They were in their tie.
Yep.
They were appropriate.
Yep.
And he's sitting there and he orders a short ribs omelet. And he says, "I think that was the best thing I've ever had." I was like, "Yeah, it was really good." I didn't have that, but it was just, it's just, you know, they do all the serving together and pick up the plates together. And he got to see things that, you know, took me a long time to get to see. So it was, as you can see, and I've told these stories like 5 times already, and he's sick and tired because when he's in my company, I tell the stories and he's sick and tired of me telling them. But this is the only reason I exist for you know, making sure my kids are happy and they got what they need and for people I can help. And if you don't ask us for help, you know, you're an idiot. I mean, we have, I'll give you another example. Somebody was trying to get into a restaurant, a very tough restaurant to get into Saturday night. 1 second, I had a reservation confirmation. 1 second. Because I called somebody that I know. And they got him in the hottest restaurant in the city in 1 second. So you use us. Don't call me for reservations, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And it's a give and take, because the only reason why someone is able to help you out is because you've put yourself out there and you're either helping them directly or they understand fundamentally that you're paying it forward to other people, and it all kind of, we're all in it together, you know?
You know, last week I didn't realize, and then yesterday I was was it Sunday? I was relaxing and I was like, I helped like 6 or 7 people with different things last week without realizing it.
Right.
And like, I'm not saying it for accolades or anything, but like, I was like, oh, okay. I called that person. I got that person. I got that. Okay. Wow. It's like, I love it. It's like, it's the best thing I did was like being able to give access to people because someone gave me access. The reason I met half of these people is because you and I do a podcast together.
Right. Yeah, that's great. So I think the lesson is take advantage of every opportunity, get yourself out there, get into the mix, make sure you follow up with these people and allow them to help you. I think that I learned that lesson at some point about allowing people to help you, because most of us have the attitude, no, I don't want to impose. But if you allow someone to help you, it makes them feel good. And it also gives them a stake in your future success as well. And that's really important.
I just had this conversation. I'm connecting 2 people. And she's like, well, I don't want to impose. I said, impose. Not only impose, break the damn door down.
Right.
Like stop with this not imposing thing. There's imposing by asking people for free rooms. There's imposing by asking for people for stuff you know you shouldn't ask them for. Asking them for access to something they can provide you and be happy to provide it to you.
Right.
In a way, a professional way. Like, I have no problem asking somebody for something in a professional way at the right time. There's another thing we should teach. It's the right time. Like, if you want to ask your general manager for a raise,
right,
and your general manager should always come to you first, but for some reason, your boss doesn't come to you for a raise and review. Are you going to ask them for a raise and review at 9:30 on Monday? Probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
Are you going to ask them for a raise maybe on Thursday night?
Right.
Like, hey, at 4:30, I know you leave at 5:30. Would you mind giving me 5 minutes? Or maybe Friday, like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon when they're starting to gear down. You know, everything that you do, you have to time it right. And listen, and if you sense that they're not in the mood, then don't do it. Like, everything is nuance. Everything is, you know, even when I ask these people, can you sit with them? Can you spend time with them? I'm a nervous wreck.
Right.
Calling Brian saying, hey, Brian, can you spend an hour? I'm nervous, but I owe it to Brian to give him that opportunity to help somebody. And I owe it to them to do it. So I ask people, but doesn't mean I'm not nervous.
Yeah. And and for the record, I'm genuinely shocked anytime anybody does anything for me ever. So
Yeah,
I know a lot of you out there probably having that thing. I feel uncomfortable asking. I still do. And I've been at this for almost 30 years, you know?
yeah, I still do too. I absolutely do.
Yep.
But I know that if they want a favor from me, I do it for them, and they know that.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. So I think we covered that topic pretty well. Here's something I'd like to brag about. That I think is almost as exciting as us being named the #1 podcast in hospitality 2 years in a row. And by the way, incidentally, our other show, Friday Night Audit, that I do with Craig Sullivan, moved from the #9 slot up to #3. #2 was our friend Sarah Dandashy show. So congratulations to Sarah.
Yeah, you know what? Don't get close to #1, either one of you. Okay. Just stay #3 and stay #2. Don't be #1.
Hey, listen,
if you're
I'm comfortable
#1,
with that.
I got to come at. I'm not good with people knocking us off #1.
Yep.
No,
You
I
hear
like.
that, Sarah?
Listen. I gave you some shit privately. I think I did
Uh-huh.
about Glenn's podcast is #1. Oh, and thank you to Anthony for your support.
Well, I don't know why they didn't put us both on there, but I don't know. Maybe they got confused because I was named the social media influencer guy.
Yeah. Shove that in there too, Glenn.
Yeah. But whatever. Now I lost my train of thought about what I was.
Listen, I
actually,
am very, very happy to be your second banana. I will always take second billing to you.
You're hysterical. Yeah, that should. I wish.
Just
that was
don't. Just don't. Your Friday night audit better not knock us out of #1 because then I got to get serious.
There's no way. There's no way.
Then I got to get serious. Then I got to get serious.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, I'm certainly not that funny, so I don't think we have a problem there. Anyway, my big news is, for the first time in 5 years, I got my taxes done before the deadline. So I'm very excited about that. So if you all haven't done yours, get it done. People can change. I only got last year's taxes done like, I don't know, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Mine are done.
Good for you.
And that money will be coming out of my account on the 15th of March.
And if I get anything back, I'm just gonna send it straight to a couple of colleges, a couple of universities.
How do you get money back? You have your own business. How are you getting any money back?
I got a new accountant.
Oh, I want some of that.
I'm like, you could deduct that. You could deduct that. The prior accountant I had, he would keep yelling at me. You need to take more deductions. I'm like, well, give me a list. He goes, well, you got to take more deductions. I'm like, I'm not an accountant. I don't know what I can deduct. So this new person that I'm using gives you like a whole questionnaire and stuff like that. That's
great.
Awesome.
My check will be sent on March 15th.
March 15th. You're not going to wait till the day before and,
No, it comes out March 15th. That's the day, right?
Isn't that? Yeah, I think so. For
whatever date's supposed to come out,
quarterly taxes or something like that. Anyway, it doesn't really matter.
I do mine all at once at the end of the year.
Oh, I pay quarterly.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, because if I have the cash on hand, I'd rather send it to the government and get something back. I've always just worked that way. I had a friend that always used to be like, well, you're giving them a free loan. I'm like, if I wasn't giving the government a free loan, I'd just be giving all that extra money to get some sushi or pizza or something like that.
At the end of the year, I just cha-ching, I got to give them a check. Yeah. But it's all good. Listen, I'm blessed, and every day I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to do what I want.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely blessed, and we're lucky to do what we do, man. And and when you have a bad day, you just you know what I look. What do I look at when I have a bad day?
You look in the mirror and go, "Hey, I can do it."
No, I look at that, and you know what that's for.
Yeah,
I look at that, and I'm like, I'm having a good day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So someone who's not having a good day right now is tennis champion Novak Djokovic. He has been banned from participating in an upcoming U.S. tennis tournament in Indian Wells, California, because he has chosen not to have a vaccination. I'm kind of confused on this story because I thought we were in March of 2023, not 2021 over here when this was an issue. So before you speak, the president and CEO of the U.S. Travel Association, Jeff Freeman, who recently took on that job, is having none of it. He's saying it's an unforced error that's helping to contribute to an $80 billion loss in foreign traveler spending. And he's got more to say, but let's hear what you have to say.
As a person that got 2 vaccinations, as a person that wore his mask, as a person that did everything I was told to do. Okay.
I think you got a booster too, like I did. Yeah.
I got a booster. I got it all. You want to give me a booster? I'll take 10 of them. I did everything I was supposed to do, right? I did everything I was supposed to do.
Uh-huh.
I believe in if I can prevent other people from getting sick. Okay. However, it is proven that if you get the vaccine, you may not get as sick. Well, I don't know if that's proven, but people say you may not get as sick. Okay, so great. So I'm going to take it. But it's been proven that if you get the vaccine, you could still pass it on to somebody. So if I get it, it's probably better than getting the vaccine, because apparently I have stronger immunity to passing it on. Or I can't pass it on because I'm less likely to get it again if I get it. The vaccine doesn't prevent you from giving it to somebody or getting it. So what the are they talking about?
Right. I like how you muted yourself there. Pretty impressive. Yeah. I don't know. It just seems ridiculous at this particular point. I understand people's concerns and I understand people's fears then, like a year or so ago. But as Freeman is saying here in his statement, it is well past time for the United States to join with its peers in Europe, Australia, and elsewhere and remove pandemic vaccine requirements for inbound travelers. We are way behind here with our ability to attract foreign travelers. And you look at the statistics, and while it seems that we've been about bringing in the same amount of money over the last 15, 20 years every year, the fact is we're losing in the overall pie of the
I didn't know you still needed the vaccine. I didn't know you needed the vaccine to get in the States.
Yeah. I think it was gone for a little while and then back, I believe. Don't quote me on that, people. But yeah, that's the reality of it.
Listen, we travel a lot. We both got COVID, right? You got COVID. I got COVID. But I know people have gotten it 3 times and 4 times that have the vaccines. I know people that didn't get the vaccine and got it once. I officially don't know anybody that hasn't gotten it now. Everybody that didn't get it that I knew has now gotten it, but they got it once, and some people had the vaccine, some people didn't. At this point, it's proven that if you get the vaccine, it doesn't prevent you from giving it to somebody else.
Right.
And he is a top athlete in the best condition. So if he does get it, he's probably going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's asinine. I really think it's asinine.
I also think it was really funny that you're like, this guy's going to play tennis, a sport that you're alone outside.
And he's probably everywhere else.
And flying in on a private jet.
Listen, everybody that's vaccinated, that's in that arena, is going home and putting themselves at risk of getting COVID because no one's wearing a mask anymore. Again, if this would prevent him from passing it on, I see your point. Yep. But it's proven that it doesn't do it.
Yep. I will tell you, though, when I was going out to the Click conference, which was a great success, and congratulations to Craig Sullivan on that, the woman sitting next to me as I was stuck in a middle seat for the first time in many, many years, she had on a mask and was coughing the entire time. She was doing
or maybe she has COVID.
I don't know. It was starting to get me anxious. And anytime I saw her move, I'd hold my breath and then, do all that.
What happens? Glenn, tell everybody what happens if you put Anthony in a middle seat in coach.
I believe the Delta representative will be finding you another flight.
No, you believe that I'd be taken off on the stretcher because I
a stroke. Oh yeah, I can't even imagine.
I have serious. First of all, I get up and use the restroom 5 times a flight going out to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bad enough I had to sit at the window seat and crawl over the lady that kept on getting annoyed. But I told her I get up a lot to use the restroom. But if I have to sit in the middle seat for 5 hours, I ain't making it. I ain't making it without having a heart attack.
No, for sure. I'll tell you what, the guy sitting next to me on the flight home had to go a connection through Seattle. It was a long flight, but like 45 minutes before the flight's over, he's like, hey, I got to get out. And he's like apologizing. I'm like, apologizing? I'm impressed that you made it this long. I'm like, kudos to you, bro. Me, I was up like 47 times.
And you know when somebody falls asleep, you're in business class and somebody falls asleep and you try to jump over them without waking them up? Has that ever happened to you? Well, do you do that or you wake them up?
Listen, I've had the situation where it's been such an emergency and I didn't want to screw with the person. I've tried to get over them. It never works.
Well, I did it perfectly because in first class or in business class, you have that chair you can pull up that they don't feel in front of you.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yep.
Right. So I hold on to it and I did it. When I
Nice.
came back, she was up like this.
Oh,
I was like, she had a frown on her
frowny
face. I was like,
face.
I didn't touch you. I didn't wake you up. I jumped over you with no problem, and you're annoyed. All right, next time I'm just going to slap your leg and say, get up.
Yeah. Come on. If you're on the airplane, the person next to you is going to have to go to the bathroom. If it's 73 times, that's one situation. But if once or twice, that's a lot.
5 times a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, but I have to get up every 5. I'm an old man. I just got to get up and I got to stretch my legs. And listen, I was in business class and I was freaking out. Could you imagine? As I get older, I have serious problems with claustrophobia. I have serious problems with being in a small space for a long time. You know that. Yeah. I mean, you've traveled with me enough to know all my idiosyncrasies.
Yeah.
Oh, but you would have been proud of me because JC was with me. I engaged and I didn't play poker up until the last day for a few hours. I got in $200 tournament. But I engaged, I socialized, I went to breakfast, I went to lunch, I met people. You've been very proud of me, Glenn.
I would have been. That's probably because you didn't see me before the poker game, so you were able to
concentrate. Oh, I'm like, go be you. I'll see you later.
So someone's mentioning a story here about a guy yesterday that used a spoon as a shank and tried to open the doors of the plane. I didn't hear anything about that.
Just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Oh God,
I love that. So I love that though. That like if you're in the air, if someone does anything, everyone's allowed to beat the hell out of them, and like you don't get in trouble for it.
You know what? I haven't used my wrestling moves in a long time, and I'm a wrestler. Like I would love to just take you down and like put you on the ground and just like put you out. Like it's like, are you crazy? It's like that's the only time like everyone's allowed to kill you and get away with it. It's like, are you out of your mind? You're going to try to take this plane down and hurt the stewardess, this flight attendant? Are you nuts? Yeah, but I guarantee you they're not going to let you have silverware. We're going to eat with our hands from now on.
Hey, I mean, they do it in a lot of parts of the world. So, if they could do it in
India, they do. They shit in holes, but I'm not ready to do that either.
All right, we're going to get canceled after that.
I don't believe I just said that because I don't usually talk that way.
That was a joke, everybody.
It slipped out. It slipped out.
So we've been on for about a half an hour. Is there anything else that you really want? Oh, you want to talk about that other thing as well?
Yeah. What are the 2 questions that we have, my friend? What are those 2 questions we have?
All right. So we got a question. So what is the best use of ChatGPT for management companies, right? So we're thinking customer service, assist hotel management companies in providing quick and efficient customer service, can respond to customer inquiries, provide information about amenities, services, and policies, assist with room reservations, and handle basic complaints. Or in marketing, can be used to improve marketing efforts by engaging potential customers, providing personalized recommendations, and answering questions about the hotel and its offering. Also, staff training, data analysis, and also cost-effective in the reducing the cost of customer service and handling routine inquiries such as basic complaints to free up staff to do more complex issues. So overall, it's all about improving customer service, increasing customer engagement, and gaining valuable insights from customer conversations, all while reducing costs and improving efficiency.
Wow, Glenn,
think that was
where did you get that answer from?
All right, so that was ChatGPT. What do you think about that? I went into a little detail. I cut out a little bit of it because I was reading forever, but that's not bad. Not bad.
I'm doing a little experiment. I can announce it, but I'm doing an article for a publication and I'm using ChatGPT, but I'm going to expose it at the end saying this whole article was written by ChatGPT. Because it's a similar question. It's like, how can ChatGPT be helpful to the hotel industry? So I'm going to ask ChatGPT how to be helpful to the hotel industry.
Love it. That's pretty awesome. So check our show that we had on with Alan Young, a puzzle partner, a couple of weeks back. We really get into the ChatGPT conversation where we discuss a little bit of how it's really the infancy of this technology. So it's not as much about what we can do with it today as much as how the future is going to be massively affected by all that we're going to be able to do in that regard.
Yes, sir. Yep. So if we're coming to the end, you know what's happening, right? The book's coming out in April or May.
You're gonna read us something finally?
So it's called Show Up.
Yep.
The 5 pillars of getting out of your own way. You like that?
I love it. Mm-hmm.
So Glenn, you read the book, Glenn. What do you think?
I did read the book. No one's paying attention right now because I want to compliment you. I don't want anyone to know, though, that I have nice things to say. I thought it was freaking awesome. You nailed it, rocked it, awesome. It sounds just like you. It was quick and easy. And for me, somebody who's been around for a really long time, it really reinforced all of those things that I knew, but it's really good to hear somebody else tell them. So it validates it and brings it really top of mind and helps you really focus your energy towards achieving some of the things that you mentioned, at least for a guy like me to do a little bit of a checklist. And for younger people who haven't had the opportunity to be in the career world, I think it's going to give them sharp insights. And just like you were saying earlier on, give them real shortcuts in order to be able to be more successful in a quicker way.
Well, yeah, and thank you. And it's been, as you know, it's been a little difficult. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And a big shout out to John Walcott, my co-writer, co-author, who's still mad at me because I've taken so long, and he's annoyed at me, but I still love him, and he's done a great job, and couldn't have done it without him. So what does showing up mean? Because there's a difference between show up for yourself and stand up for yourself.
Right.
There's a difference between standing up for yourself and showing up for yourself. I want to make clear from the get-go, standing up for yourself is self-explanatory. In many cases, it's your physical, verbal, or emotional response used to protect your pride, your space, your family, and so on. We all know people who, if they feel slighted or in any way maligned, they themselves heard or seen by standing up, want to be heard or seen by standing up for who they are. However, in some cases, standing up can also mean tuning out or ghosting someone. So showing up for yourself, on the other hand, is a term that you don't hear as often. But it's less about proving a point, protecting yourself, or for that matter, experiencing instant gratification. Showing up for yourself is in many instances more subtle. It's more focused on long-term strategies and solutions. If I understood the meaning of this early in my career, it probably would have better served me than constantly feeling like I had to stand up for myself. However, I've included stories of both me standing up for myself and showing up for myself to illustrate my points. I leave it up to you, the reader, to decide for yourself which tactic I used and whether you've done the same had you been in my shoes. So basically what I do is I tell you a story, and I let you figure out if I'm standing up or showing up for myself. And then at the end, it's like I ask you, or I tell you the takeaway, and then I tell you by reacting the way I reacted, what it did for me, whether it was good or bad. And and I will tell you the secret. I've got kicked in the a lot because I didn't know being quiet and taking a kick sometimes and then getting the last word was something you can do. I thought if somebody pushed me, I pushed back harder.
Right.
And as I got older, I learned, you don't have to say everything all the time, Anthony. You don't have to show you're a tough guy. You don't have to let your insecurity show. You don't have to let your insecurities and your lack of confidence. And people say a couple of times in my career, you have the Napoleon complex. I said, no, I'm just an asshole sometimes.
Right.
I don't have no. If I was 6'3", I would square up on you. If I was 6'3", I would still be the guy I am. So if you just don't like me, that's fine. But don't say it's Napoleon complex.
It's not. That's such a ridiculous thing because they don't say anything that way about tall people that are assholes at all.
Right.
And it's harder and it's been statistically proven that if you're taller, you're more likely to get promotions and invited into the corporate suite. So
I will tell you, I have never walked. No, that's not true. Once. Outside of that, I've never walked into the room and going, "Oh, I'm short," or I've never thought about. I'm not that short. I'm 5'7". I've never ever thought I'm different because I'm a little shorter than the normal, and I think it's ridiculous. But I did once walk into the live. Me and David Malilli walked into live at Fontainebleau, and because we were comms, hey, why don't you go? I was doing my show. I was doing my show and at the Fontainebleau, and they say, hey, go to the club. I went in the club before I went down the stairs. I was like, I'm too short. I'm too old. I'm too bald to be here. I'm just not cool. I got to leave. This is the only time I felt like I am so
that's hysterical, dude.
It was but even if you were 6'1" and 51, you probably shouldn't be there.
No, you shouldn't be. It's really strange once you get to be a little bit older. But to bring it all the way in a circle back to Vegas, I love that they realized that the first major crop of the young club goers that were popular when the Palms first debuted are now looking for other things, and we're moving more into what they did at Wynn with the Supper Club over there and the Mayfair Supper Club.
The Supper Club's the hottest club in the city.
Yeah, not surprised. Delilah.
You can't get in.
There's also one in LA, I believe. Yeah. That's
Yeah, you
amazing.
can't get in. And basically what it is those kids that stayed up to 4 o'clock in the morning and spent $2,000 on a bottle that you can get for $25
Yeah.
at a liquor store are now saying we're 32 years old
Yeah.
and we want to party and stay up late, but we want to sit down.
Yeah. Right.
And we don't want the music to blare. We actually want to hear something that we can understand.
Yeah.
Like I said to because the two kids, Mark and JC, they went to the club. 11:30 that night, I was in bed. And and then I saw a video of them up to 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you do? You go, well, we danced on tables and we hang out in the DJ booth. And then what else you do? Well, we drank. And then what else you do?
Yeah.
Well, we hung out in the DJ booth. I was like, okay, yeah, all right. Good night.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you're their age, that's a lot of fun because you haven't
when
done
I
that
was
before.
23, you couldn't pay me to go to the club. I never had the club bug. Never in a million years.
Yeah, I never did.
I never
either.
had it. I never had it. I never
never
wanted
had
to
it.
go.
No, I always felt weird. I was like regular. I was more of a dive bar kind of guy. But when I was starting to write columns about Vegas for one particular magazine, all of a sudden I had pull, and they would send me to all these clubs, and they'd set me up with a table and bottle service and all of that kind of stuff. And that's fun when you get to go in VIP and have all that experience. It was fun, but it's not like let's go to the club. It was never like that.
Listen,
for me.
we've been very fortunate because we have access
Yep.
that a lot of people don't get to experience. And
Yep.
I like nice things since I'm a kid. I always have. I always like, I just always like nice hotels. And we didn't go to nice hotels when I was a kid. We didn't have the money, but my mom always kept a very clean, very nice house. You would have thought we had all the money in the world. And I always just like nice spaces. And, so when I go out, I don't want to sit in like a smoky club watching people blare music. I want to sit and have a nice steak with my friend Glenn and go, this is cool.
Yeah. All right. We got to do that real soon. And one thing you guys could do right now is you could go download the podcast on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever you get your shows. We are there. And of course, if you're listening to us, why not watch us on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and go to novacancynews.com for all of our videos that there are. He's at Anthony Hotels. I'm at Traveling Glenn. You ready to get out of here?
No, sir.
What do you got to say then? All right.
I don't know, sir.
All right, everybody. Remember, you've got one life, so blaze on, and
be kind to yourself.
see you later.